Hello, I'm James Helder. Welcome to another special episode of Not For The News here on Pitch Football. Quite fortunate enough to be joined by my esteemed colleagues, Leon Knight, Curtis Woodhouse. Firstly, how are we, gentlemen? You all good?
Yeah, all good.
I like that.
Got me right now. Did you get me?
Yeah, you're looking fresh. Curtis is looking like a French meme. Mime act. It's got the whole thing going on. I like that. Firstly, gentlemen, I want to look at Arsenal's result over Liverpool. A few controversial incidents in the game, so I don't want to spend too long on the game, but I want to get your thoughts on it initially. I'm going to go straight to Nighty on this one. What are you thinking? What's your thoughts on the breakdown of Arsenal-Liverpool?
Well, Arsenal started well, didn't they? They started took it really, which, you know, with so far worked out. I just think like Liverpool, they have to go full circle again. Do you know what I mean? It's like they have to regroup, buy a few players. You know, they bought Nunes and stuff, but you know he's no Sadio Mane, is he? You know, I think they just need players in and, you know, need to start up again. But Arsenal, bar the Man United result, obviously, I think, you know, we're flying at the moment, mate. You know what I mean? We're flying. I'm just, as an Arsenal fan, obviously, the last 10, 15 years, whatever it is, there's always been some sort of blip and we don't make it into Europe and we don't do, Champions League. And, you know, I'm kind of semi-waiting for that dip to come. But at the moment, mate, unbelievable, mate. Absolutely unbelievable. Couldn't be more delighted, mate. I tell you that from now.
I'm just getting that clip of Curtis telling us that Arsenal won't win a trophy within our lifetime, flooding back to me. I think about it with every 3 points that the team acquire. Which
major trophy. So the major trophies to me are the Premier League and the Champions League. Not the FA Cup. That's not a major trophy. Not anymore. And Arsenal will not win either of them in my lifetime.
Do you do this for a hobby? Fucking annoy people.
But to be fair, Arsenal look amazing. They look so well balanced. I love what they've got on the counter-attack, the pace they've got. You know, they look a proper team. Liverpool, like he's right, the wheels have fallen off. And we're going to have a show to discuss Virgil van Dijk. Mate, he has absolutely gone. And you know what? I don't know whether it's because of his injury or not, but he looks like that he's seriously lacking confidence. The big man's struggling, isn't he?
I'm glad you mentioned Virgil van Dijk. He was being built up by the English media to win the Ballon d'Or at one point.
Potentially a Muhammad Ali for women's boxing.
Where's it gone wrong? Where's it going wrong for Big Virgil?
Injury? I don't know, you know, because he has gone from looking like a Rolls Royce to looking like Ford Escort. You know, he's gone. He looks like he don't want to defend. He can't defend. He looks uncertain. He looks nervous. Yeah, I don't know. Is it his injury? You know, he has done his ACL. That is a big injury. And he didn't look anywhere near the player he was.
Let's talk a little bit about the incident with Henderson-Gabriel. Sorry to interrupt you, Nighty.
Can I just make everyone aware, and Curtis, the played, can back me up, how well and how together do Arsenal look? Even when they score, there's a man in the middle talking like to say, don't let this slip. You know, we've got to stay on the ball. You know, make sure we don't concede within the first 15 minutes of scoring. Like, you can tell they're in there. And it's just so pleasing to see, like, do you know what I mean? Like, nowadays, in this era, like, usually say, like, you know, there ain't that dressing room kind of atmosphere and togetherness and that. And it just made me smile when I've been noticing it. They've probably been doing it before this, but I've been noticing in the last couple of games, like when we score, everybody's over. Everybody, there's a man in the middle. It's usually Xhaka or Odegaard, and they're in the middle going, listen, you got to make sure we're on this and make sure we don't concede. Because, you know, after you score, you know, I think it's the first 5-10 minutes, you're thinking you're still on a high. Teams are looking to get at you, usually concede. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's good to see, man. It's really good to see they've got that mentality. Look like, you know, obviously I'm not in there, so I don't know for certain, but from the outside, it looks like the togetherness is solid and, you know, everybody's playing for each other. And, you know, I just want to make this clear to every single football club that plays Liverpool Football Club. If Trent's playing, go down. He died.
Yeah, you know what? He's struggling, isn't he? Mate, he's gone. Do you know what? It's crazy, really, because I think Trent going forward is that good. You have to have him in the team, but defensively, oh my God, he's so bad, isn't he?
You suck.
He's bad. It looked like Arsenal had made a conscious plan to attack down that flank, and I'm sure other sides are going to be doing it this season to catch his defensive frailties, where he's so high up on the attacks as well. It leaves massive ground for fast wingers to move into.
You know what, though? You know, like you get some defense, like let's take Gary Neville, for example, who for me is, you know, one of the best English right-backs probably of my lifetime. And you could tell when he defended, he loved defending. He loved it. He loved blocking crosses. He loved tackling. Trent ambles over there. It's a part of the game that you can tell he just can't be asked about. He's not even fussed. He doesn't try and block crosses. He's got no intensity in his defending. He's not bothered about defending Trent, you know, and he needs a shift in mentality. He needs to remember that your job as a defender, first and foremost, is to defend. And he either gets that in his head or he goes and plays a different position and he plays higher up the pitch, because at the minute, he is a liability for Liverpool.
Where does he play, Curtis?
I don't know. I think his best position is probably right wing back. But then, I mean, Liverpool moving to a back three, changing the whole system for him. I don't know. At the minute, he's a disaster at right back. He's costing them a goal a game. So you either change the system to get him in or you leave him out.
That's not fair! That's not fair!
Well, he's coming away from Trent. There was an incident, like I've mentioned, involving Henderson and Gabriel. It's blown up a little bit. There's been some complaints reported to the FA. What do we make of it initially, Curtis?
Well, what's he said? No one knows what he said, does he? So, you know, it's hard to comment on. No one knows what he said.
We're going on the reactions of some of the other players, okay? So one in particular was his teammate Firmino. If you look at the look on Firmino's face, if we can get that image on the screen, these are the sort of things that people are putting two and two together on.
Yeah, I've seen that, but you can freeze frame any sort of snap and make it look however you want. You know, people are trying to drive the race thing. You know, he must have said something racist or whatever. It's a lot of bollocks, and unless there's any proof.
You think Gabriel should come out and clear the speculation one way or the other?
Yeah.
I mean, like, all the years that Henderson's been playing, he knows the responsibility that he's got. He don't seem like, I mean, I live in Liverpool and I see him drive and at his car sometimes and signs autographs and stuff and whatever. But all the years playing and stuff, and, you know, he's probably coming towards the end of his career now. He looks a bit shocked to me anyway. Yeah, he can't get around like he used to. All the years he's been playing, he's, you know, I doubt very, 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 very much that he's said something along them lines. I'm more taking it along the lines of he said something about his mum or his girl or something like that. I doubt being in the side, he's played with Sadio Mane for God knows how long, even Firmino, like Origi, like all these players he's played with, and now you're gonna come out and do something like that. It just like Curtis is saying, people can freeze frame stuff. Like that could have just been Firmino's face at that time. I'm not defending Henderson because, like Curtis is saying, nobody knows. Gabriel ain't back and going, oh, he said this or whatever. Everybody's just saying, oh, he's been, because the referee took a little bit of a time to flip in kind of, you know, deal with the situation and stuff. Everyone's going, oh, it has to be racist, has to be racist. But this is the society we're living in at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Henderson's not that guy. Henderson's not that guy.
I don't think he is.
Nah, I'm not having it.
Right? I'm not having it. Like, until it comes, obviously, come on, I won't put my life on it, but I'm just saying, like, it just seems like weird that he would do something like that or come out like that. Do you know what I mean? He's an established English international. You know what I mean? You got Sterling, you got flipping. Who else you got up there? Flipping Saka. You got all these players that come into the World Cup. Is he going to the World Cup? I don't know. He might make the bench. He might make the squad or whatever. And standing over. But like, come on, bro, man. It just don't make no sense, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? It kind of feels like that everyone's trying to position themselves to make it a racism thing, you know, because no one's actually come out and said, here we said X, Y, and Z. But the way they've positioned, you know, and people are putting two and two together, and it's all positioned for it to be that way. And I don't like it. There's absolutely no evidence of him saying anything racial towards whoever he's meant to have said it towards, but it's all been positioned that way to lead down that avenue, which is divide and conquer. You see it a mile off, and I just don't get involved in any of that nonsense.
This internet, this is the, like I said, it's the era we're living. It's the internet, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's done that. They've freeze framed Firmino going. Like, they've showed someone speaking to the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper going or whatever, and this and the other, and everyone's going, oh, it's racist, it's racist. Like nobody even knows what anybody said. Why don't you say said like I said something about his mum or his kid or something?
Would that get the same reaction though, 90? You know, footballers, when it comes to being wound up, they're used to people saying things to them.
Oh, my kid. You say, mum or my kid, I'm definitely going to be reacting a certain way.
I hear that. Well, we'll wait and see what comes out. Personally, I think Gabriel should come out and say what was said to him.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're not,
come out and say something, or shut up. Not want to hear nothing. Not that in betweenness.
I know. Well, everyone's casting shade over Henderson. No one actually knows. So it would make more sense for Gabriel to come out and say, "This is what was said to me." A bit back.
And to be fair, the way he's spreading fire around social media platforms it's a bit unfair on Henderson at the moment. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they've got him like racist at the moment. And nobody actually knows what's said. Like I said, I won't put my life on it. Yeah? I won't put my life on anything going past anybody. But I'm just saying, like, come on, let's get something, like a little piece of facts. We ain't even got him kind of saying something. It's nice where we can kind of lip read and say, oh, that, you know, like the whole John Terry and Anton Ferdinand situation. Like, we ain't even got like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just, he said something racist, that's it. Internet blows up, he's racist. That's just foolish.
With no evidence at all. None.
Now, I want to come on to the story that Nottingham Forest have sacked head of recruitment George Cyranosis and scout Andy Scott. They were the people responsible for 22 signings over the summer. 22 signings to sack your recruitment team, okay?
I'm not being funny. What the fuck is going on?
It's a very bizarre situation from a Premier League club. Let's break down Nottingham Forest. Let's break down the whole situation. Curtis, what are you thinking?
Well, the timings, I don't know. Obviously, we're leading up to the transfer window opening. Obviously, looking at the recruits and like, where's all the money gone? The bottom of the league. It is what it is, isn't it? I mean, Forest are a bit of a basket case, really, aren't they? You know, you can't bring 22 players into a football club and expect it to do well. But then on the flip side, they had that many players leaving the summer. They kind of had no options. But I think the recruitment's been really poor. They've not brought in any defenders with any sort of experience. They've brought in a lot of attacking players that you think are going to get you goals on big wages that haven't produced. From what I've seen of Forest so far, out of my house and I'm going down. You know, they just look the squad looks so unbalanced, and the manager's very, very inexperienced. You know, the manager's one of them tippy-tappy managers, wants to play pretty football, but no, he's not really for me. I must be honest. And I think Forest are nailed on to go down. Unless they chuck another big chunk of money at it at Christmas and try to save what the Premier League status. But for me, they're gone.
And it's gone.
What?
It's gone. It's all gone.
What I don't understand is the manager just signed a new deal recently last week.
Unbelievable.
How are you not responsible for the 22 players that your recruitment team have brought in? Did he not have a say on the players? What is going on?
Well, it makes you think he probably hasn't got a say, because I look at the recruitment, and any manager that's got half a brain cell wouldn't recruit all them players. The squad's so lopsided with attacking players and not much defensively. I can't see the manager has sanctioned all them signings. So the people that are sacked probably have, and it's cost them their job.
And this is what I'm trying to. I know I keep always going up this era, the last era, and what all I can put it down to. Like the last era, you had the managers involved, who's coming in and who's whatever. There weren't 100 people behind the scenes, and we're going to buy this and we're going to buy that. Alex Ferguson had the last say whether who and what was coming into the club. He'll have his obviously recruitment team, but bam, if he said yes, then they will pull it to him. If he said yes, then they will come in. Arsene Wenger, the same way. If he said yes, then he'll come in. Jose Mourinho, the same way. If he wanted a player, or if his recruitment team done a little bit of search and they found the player and he looked at them and they will come in. Now, players, it won't surprise me if players are turning up on a training field and the manager don't even know what's going on. Like, there's so much going on behind the scenes, and there's so many people with titles, director, scouting director, just so much crap. Like, you probably need 2 or 3 scouts, then you need to transfer that over to the manager, or the manager needs to tell the scouts what he wants. Then they bring him a few players who they fit the criteria, and then the manager says yes or no. Like, what's so hard about that?
Yeah, but now how many managers are actually managers anymore? Have the title of manager? A lot of them have the title of head coach, which probably means they have very little to do with recruitment. Their job's just to coach the team. We will give you the team, you coach it the best you can. And I think that's the issue. I remember, I made my debut at Sheffield United in 1997. So I came through the youth team to make my debut. We had 2 youth team managers that took care of the whole of the youth team. We had a reserve team manager. We had a first team manager and an assistant manager. So how many is that? 5. 5 members of staff ran the whole football club. Now, we had 1 physio, so 6. Oh, and a kit man, 7. So we had 7 members of staff to run the whole football club. Now, 7 members of staff run the under-12s. The game's mad. There's people that have got high titles, like what 97 football clubs, that shouldn't be anywhere near football clubs. These guys haven't got a clue, but they've got a PhD in performance analysis, which means nothing, which basically means that they know how to press play on the bleep test. It's utter bonkers.
Is it jobs for the boys a lot of the time, these roles? Do you find that people are inventing more meticulous roles within football clubs to deal with the mass amount of players and people involved in the game that need to work?
Of course they are. It's just a load of crap. Like Curtis is saying, where he's come through Sheffield United. Chelsea's thing. The reserve team manager, youth team manager, an assistant manager, a manager of the first team, a physio. Well, we had about 3-4 physios. We had a bunch of flipping fairies there. Charges every minute and blah blah blah. Because back in the day, a massage was just like a piece of flip. You know what I mean? Wasn't even coming back from injury. Do you know what I mean? It was the foreigners who came to Chelsea. That's when the masseurs and all that started to come in, because obviously that's their culture. They get a massage and blah blah blah. But beforehand, I'm flipping you having a laugh. Rub deep heat into that, and we're outside. Simple. Right now, there's just too much going on, bro. Like you look at a bench today, and there's just a tree people on the bench. Like you don't like you think to yourself, what are you doing? Like, what is your title? What is your role in this? They've got a flipping set piece coach. They've got a flipping, like, what? Why do you need a set piece coach? Can't the manager deal with that himself? Obviously, he wants certain things on the set piece. Just imply that into the players and get it done. The manager, who was it against? I think it was last night or something. It was the Forest and Villa game. I heard the commentator going, he's speaking to his set piece coach because Villa conceded from a set piece. Yeah, Gerrard is speaking to his set piece coach. Think it's a bit late now. Are you having me on?
Yeah. It's bonkers. Set piece coach. I don't get it. You know, if you're a manager in the Premier League, you should be able to set your own set pieces up. Simple.
Stupidness, man. Honestly, that means they must have a penalty man who tries to flip in, tell people to take pens. That means they've got a defensive flipping coach, got a midfield coach. Like, what is the manager actually doing?
Did you watch the Villa game the other night, 90? So, like, did you see at times, like, when there's about 4 or 5 people, coaching staff, stood up in the technical area, shouting instructions onto the pitch. And I was looking at that thinking, that's not a good look for Gerrard, that. What is going on? Everyone's screaming on the pitch. Like, everyone wants to be the boss. Like, you want a good look, that. I didn't like it.
And Curtis, it's not only there, mate. It's a few clubs as well. I've got that. I just now said, there's just 100 people on the bench. They're just like, they're all got their little clipboards and do you know what I mean? Players are coming on and they're speaking to another geezer, not the manager. They're speaking to another geezer. Now, has he got the same mentality and thinking about how the game's going on as the manager? Or is it sensible to be speaking to the manager and the manager going, listen, make sure blah, 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 and this, that, and the other? Or is he speaking to his coach? Like, have they got the same connection that person he's speaking to and the manager to be telling the player what to do?
It's getting a bit like NFL, innit? Where you have defense, attack, special teams, team. It's madness.
Coming away from this, there's one story that not many people have been given a lot of attention to. It's probably the biggest story in football. Okay. We saw Brighton star Enoch Mwepu forced to retire at the age of 24 years old, tipped as a future heir to N'Golo Kante by a lot of people. Top player, 24 years of age. We've now seen his career is cut short over an irregular heartbeat. Okay. Something that's been pointed out as being potentially hereditary or maybe not. Now, you know yourself the level of tests it takes to become a top level footballer. You boys have experienced it. These things are pointed out a lot earlier than when you're in the Premier League. Okay. Let's be brutally honest about it. What is going on? I want to look at the situation a bit broader, involving Sergio Aguero, involving Christian Eriksen, involving Enoch Mwepu, who is the latest of the players to suffer this fate. No one seems to be talking about it, and it's pissing me off a little bit. So I thought I'd bring it up on the show and get you boys talking about it a little bit. Initially, I'm going to go straight to Curtis. Give me your thoughts on this.
They've had the jabs, haven't they?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
You know, there's no need to beat around the bush. They've had the COVID jabs and they've suffered heart failure. Not heart failure, but problems with the heart. And it comes from having the COVID jabs. It's simple. But no one can talk about that anymore because everyone's trying to brush it under the carpet. I seen something come out yesterday, the lies that they've told us. I put something on my Twitter. It's unbelievable, really, the amount of bullshit that they've tried to peddle us. And they've got blood on their hands. It's as simple as that. It's probably murdered more people, this COVID and the COVID jabs, than any other thing that's happened in the history of the world. And that's the position we're in. And no one can really talk about it. No one can really bring it up for fear of being cancelled, for fear of whatever. But the cold, harsh reality of it is healthy men and women in the prime of their lives have been dropping down with heart failures like we have never seen before. And the only thing that's been different to now is the COVID jabs that the people have had. And it's cost a lot of people their livelihood and their lives.
What I don't understand is we've obviously had a problem with this in the past. Have you ever seen it on this scale? Not just football. I'm involved in looking wider spectrum around the world of athletes and young people dropping down with this condition.
Listen, let me tell you something. It's not only football. It's cricketers, NBA stars, NFL stars, tennis players. There's referees who's reffing games that's dropped off. Footballers. Like, just like Curtis is saying, you tell me a time where this has happened. Tell me a time where this has happened. Now, don't get me wrong. Players have fallen down and, even died and whatever and blah, blah, blah. But they've come to, assess and see, and they'll give you the problem that they had. But at this scale, bruv, how people can't put 2 and 2 together and get what I would never know. Honestly. It's the vaccine.
Look at the silence around it though, 90. Look how no one's saying anything. It puts Eddie Hearn to shame, this. The way Eddie's gone quiet, it puts him to shame. But there's this massive cloud of silence around anybody talking about what the issue is. And we all know what it is. It's a COVID vaccine, and it's as simple as that.
You've got flipping fans.
Yeah.
The whole time I was playing or even been in football all my life, I've probably heard about one fan had a bit of trouble in the thingy. Bruv, and it's all on the same wavelength. Heart, chest. Players just dropping down, holding their chest mid-game. Look at Aguero. Aguero was pushing the jab. It's obvious he had the jab. He finished. He can't play again.
Yeah.
Ericsson tried to, pull the sheet over and I don't know who's told him to or whatever, but obviously his advisors and all that tried to come out and go and say, say he didn't have the jab or whatever. He had the jab.
We've seen with the fans that there's a reluctancy to mention when these incidents happen within the ground. So they could be happening a lot more than we actually know, because the official manner is that they don't want to show someone sick on the TV or announce to worry other fans. Is that a worry in itself for you, that policy of not mentioning when these incidents are happening?
Yeah, because it just seems like one big cover-up, doesn't it? If we're not being told about the information, it seems like one big cover-up. And why would you want to cover anything up if everything was above board? You wouldn't. You'd want it to be out there so people would be safer. But the more they try and cover it up, the more it makes you think, wow, what have they actually sold us here?
Stumbled onto a major company conspiracy, Mac. How about that for stress?
Have you not had the vax, 90?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking haven't I?
You know what? I was dead against having it, and I got COVID, and it knocked me sideways. And after I recovered from it first time round, I've had it like 3 times now. After I recovered from it first time round, it scared me into getting the jab. So I got the one jab, and then after I kind of thought, what am I doing here? Why have I even had that? But I did it out of fear, and I didn't go through with having the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, or the 25th, or any more to try and stick in there. But I did have one. But yeah, I didn't let my kids have it or anything like that. Utter nonsense. I feel embarrassed that I've actually had it, but I had it because I was scared. It scared me.
Listen, you ain't got to feel embarrassed or whatever and this, that, and the other. Because let me tell you something, mate. You're one of millions, mate, that they pulled the fear into with this. The media coverage on it is, they must have just spent
Billions and 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 billions,
trillions on this push. Yeah, absolutely trillions on this push, because it was just everywhere.
And you know what pisses me off, Nighty, as well? People with big platforms, people like Piers Morgan, people like him that have influence and a platform, and he's got blood on his hands because he peddled this around and peddled fear into people every single day, every day.
The celebrities, the high elite celebrities that saying they've been jabbed, these people have not been jabbed. I can guarantee you, these people have not been jabbed. They're just pushing what they've been told to push. Yeah. And that is it. They have not been. When you see them sitting down and they're getting their arm, whatever, that's not the vaccine that they're taking. That's just probably some vitamin, but they've got to do it to show that they're on board. Let me tell you this. They've backed up themselves immensely. You can't sue. You can't do anything. You just have to sit down and take it. And that's just the bottom line of the whole thing. Yeah. That's the bottom line of the whole thing. If you fall sick, yeah, and your blood clots up, heart packs up or whatever, you cannot go to these people and say you're going to sue them. It's all written down. All written down.
Has anything ever happened like this?
They put out their laws to tell you, firstly, you can't sue us if this goes wrong.
Yeah.
That was just like, fuck this. No chance, bro.
Do you think a lot of the athletes in each sport would have been pressured to take this vaccine by the government?
1,000,000%.
By people in power and people of their peers would have been insistent on them taking this.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000,000%. You know, you're not going to just play in this game if you don't, you know, get the jab. You can't train with us if you haven't had the jab and everybody else has had the jab. And you know, I look at people like that. All of a sudden, have had these long-term injuries as well. You don't understand how they've done their ACL. It makes me think, like, well, have they, or are they having other problems that we don't even know about? I feel like this is, and you're so right, James, in what you're saying. No one's talking about this, and this is probably one of the biggest criminal enterprises, or what's happened to people in my lifetime.
Allegedly.
No allegedly about it.
I was having a look at the list of people, okay, that had passed away that were involved in sport, in some kind of sport. The list is scary. Like, if you look at the list worldwide and you see these faces, and not just a name, okay, put a face to it. These are actual people that were involved and loved their life, okay, and they're not here anymore. So that's what concerns me. Why this isn't more of a talking point? Why are people like Piers Morgan, who beated the drum so hard to convince us to take this vaccine? Why are these people that were in the public eye, that for all intents and purposes look like they were paid to tell us to take the vaccine? Why are they not coming out now? Why are they not being held accountable for their actions?
All the stuff that they lied to us about when they were saying, you know, if you get vaccinated, you're fully vaccinated, you can no longer pass this disease on. They come out the other day and said, that's not actually true. We lied. Imagine that. So the reason where I'm thinking, well, I better have my vaccination is, my mum's old and vulnerable. I didn't want to pass it on to my wife, to my kids, thinking, fuck me, am I going to kill somebody if I don't be vaccinated? You know, so that's what I got it under false pretenses. And I could have put anything in my arm. Luckily, I wised up and I only had the one jab. But I could have put anything in my arm, which would have killed me. And no, who's responsible for that?
This is a situation that we found ourselves in. Family members were arguing with each other, over one member of the family not wanting to be vaccinated and another member insisting that they are. This is the sort of situation and dilemma that was caused and driven by people of high status, affluent social media accounts, people that were paid to put fear into the rest of us. And that's something that I don't think we should let them forget.
Listen,
Yeah, but where's the repercussions to this? So where's the who? We need some accountability. Who's gonna, you know, who's taking the blame for this? Because we can't just say nothing.
listen, my family was at war. We was at war. We was at war. Family members was telling us, oh, don't come to the house and stuff like that and whatever. Bro, they had families literally tearing each other apart over this vaccine. And I'm one of them families that was at war. Yeah? Me mum, me dad, everybody was at war with the other side of our family that's saying, make sure you don't get the vaccines, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. We're thinking to ourselves, bro, if there's a 99.9% rate of surviving this virus, why am I going to put something in my arm, yeah, that you can catch the virus anyway if you get it?
Yeah.
They was telling us, yeah, they was actually telling us that you can only fly if you have the vaccine. Then you got the vaccine, then they told you you still can't fly.
There's going to be a documentary brought out about this at some point with all the information, and heads are going to have to roll. I think people should be serving some serious prison time over this.
When people passed away,
Sorry.
they weren't allowed to have proper family traditional burials, okay? So I've got a friend who couldn't have more than 8 people at his mum's funeral. Think about that, okay? He couldn't sit next to his grieving nan at the funeral. They had to be socially distanced. All because they've not taken a jab, or there wasn't a jab available that doesn't actually do anything different from their status. Let's just put that into perspective a little bit, how wrong that actually is. I know this is a football show, and I know we're going a little bit blurred with the lines a little bit, but I think people need to realise what we're talking about and how wrong that actually was.
About the same, it's affected footballers. We're talking about footballers. We're talking about the latest footballer that's been affected, that, you know, he can't work no more. Do you know what I mean? He can't work no more. This is why I rate Cristiano Ronaldo so much, to be fair. I even seen him when he didn't have a mask on. Everybody else ran had a mask on. And then someone tried to come up to him and say, can you put your mask on? And I just think he just put it over like that, and then the woman left, he took it back off. Like, I rate it, bruv. Yeah.
You know what though? So I don't know if you know, I wasn't very well a few weeks back, was I? So I had to go to the hospital. And when I went into the hospital, they asked me to put a mask on. So in the waiting room, it was packed, was a waiting room, and there's like loads of elderly people there. And I put a mask on because I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. So still now, after all these times, there must have been probably 30 people there, and everybody had a mask on. And I'm sat there thinking, what the fuck are we all doing here? Why have we got masks on? But it just shows that the brainwashing and the manipulation has not ended. There's nobody in that room out here that didn't have a mask on.
Okay, hear this, all right? Dealing with asbestos, you've got a full body suit. You've got literally a full suit to take an asbestos roof out, okay? Dealing with a hazardous chemical, you've got a suit that stops the toxins getting from you. World's most dangerous virus, we had a paper mask, okay? It's a paper mask. That should tell you all you need to know about the severity and danger that we were allegedly in, okay? I don't want to go too deep in it because that's not what we're here for, but can you understand what I'm trying to get at? For asbestos, there's a full suit, okay? For the most dangerous illness we've ever faced as a universe, we've got a paper throwaway disposable mask, okay?
And let me else, yeah? What is the mask actually doing?
Nothing.
You sneeze, coming at the side, it's coming at the top and the bottom. Yeah? So what is the mask actually for? What are you doing?
Now, I just want to mention, we don't in any way not condone anyone getting vaccinated. Okay, you're your own person. You are entitled to make your own choices. That's
No,
the way we look at it.
I'm here to tell you, don't listen to them people. They don't care. All they care about is money. That's all they care about. They don't care about nobody else. Yeah, the government don't care about us. The big pharma don't care about us. Bill Gates don't care about you. Nobody cares, bruv. Yeah? They had my man on TV fake crying. Hancock. Fake crying. They had him on TV. Yeah? Fake crying. And there was people in the comments going, he's really hurt. Like, come on, bruv, man.
You know, one of the things that really stuck with me throughout it all, after it had all come out about, you know, Boris and all his boys and that were partying, bearing in mind they had all the information and they knew it wasn't deadly. So they thought, we can party all we like, we're not going to die. But throughout it all, one of the a real poignant picture for me was the one of the Queen that lost her husband. I don't know how long they'd been married for, like literally years. She's an old lady who had lost her husband, and she was sat at his ceremony alone, and no one was allowed to comfort her. And she was left to grieve kind of on her own because of the ridiculous rules that we'd brought in. And that picture for me was multiplied across the world hundreds of thousands of times of people that have lost their loved ones and had to sit there and grieve on their own because they've made these ridiculous six meter rules or whatever. And that for me is a really, really sad situation. You can get Piers Morgan a 45-minute interview with him, because I would love to see him answer a few questions, because him for me was the one that he ended up blocking me, because I sent him something saying, basically telling him how I feel about how I feel that he's literally got blood on his hands. And I would love someone to sit down with him, someone of a high level, you know, to sit down and ask him some serious questions about how he feels about how he acted.
Well, edit this part into whatever, and you two are blocked. I ain't blocked. I'll pull it to him. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You'll only have about 5 minutes before you join our list of blocked people.
Yeah.
And if you are watching this, Pierce, aka Woogie, we think you're a bloody knob for what you did. So
yeah,
you will be held accountable by people a lot more intelligent than us, and be forced to answer for your actions.
You got blood on your hands, mate. Not for the first time either.
All right. I know this is on a slightly different show, but we do try to cover the most topical and non-talking points in football. If you're watching this, please download our football app at Pitch Footy. If you're watching this on Pitch Footy, check out the YouTube channel, social medias for content, giveaways, shows, exclusive stuff. Leon, Woodhouse, thank you very much for your time today. It's been emotional.
I enjoyed it, boys.
I should be like you, Mel.